Good evening, everyone. This is Robert. RJL Network presents another exciting of Fall Classic Baseball. The 1919 One and Gone is on the air. We are at historic League Park. This is Game 3 of the 1919 One and Gone between the number 13 Washington Senators against the number 4 Cleveland Indians. We got a heck of a pitcher's duel tonight, and I think if you guys, I know you guys really should have lots of fun here as we play tonight's game. We got a good one tonight. The Senators and the Indians at historic League Park. Cleveland finished in 1919 500. They were 84 and 55 that year. They did have two managers, though. The Senators, also known as the Nationals at the same time, but they have Fall Classic has them as the Senators, and that's what I'm going to call them at. And they, of course, they were 56 and 84. They didn't have one of their better years. Although their star pitcher, however, had pretty much his last best year before dead ball ended in 1920. But we got a good one tonight. This is the third game of this tournament, and we already have a couple of games here. So I'll give you a quick run-through as the Philadelphia Athletics knocked the Pittsburgh Pirates, beat the Brooklyn Robins 6-1 in Game 2. So the Philadelphia Athletics will be going to play the Pittsburgh Pirates in the second round. This is now Game 3 of this series of this tournament, featuring the Indians and the Senators. Game 4 will feature the Braves and the Yankees, and we will be playing that on Sunday because I'm going to go see a hockey game on Saturday night. Ron McGrath and Thomas Line are first to join us here at League Park. We are going to be using, of course, the cards, but I'm going to speed things up a bit. So I'm not going to draw cards for every out. I'm only going to draw cards if there's anybody on base, and I'll be using the Fall Classic Baseball out chart. So the D20 is going to automatically just tell me what the out is when the bases are empty. But if there's anybody on base or we need to draw a card, I will draw. So I have the cards right over here, and we are ready to go. Yes, League Park with the very unusual outfield dimensions. It's the one thing about that's the one thing I like about older baseball stadiums. Those stadiums today would not be approved today. They would not be approved. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at our starting pitcher. Starting pitcher for the Cleveland Indians, Hall of Famer Stan Coveleski. 24 wins, 12 losses that year, 4 saves. His whip was a 1.21, and he gets the call here for the Indians in this game. His bullpen session will say Coveleski will have average stuff, and we'll see what he's got. So Stan Coveleski, Hall of Famer on the mound for the Indians. So let's go to the top of the first and get the game going. Leading off for the Senators will be the first baseman, Joe Judge, 288 average. He had 31 RBIs and 2 home runs in 1919. We're going to use blue, white, and white dice. Indians are the home team for this matchup. So if everyone is set and ready to go, Ben Witz now joins us here at League Park. You can have character in a stadium without spending $1 billion for it. Yes, you can. So Coveleski on the mound for the Indians. Joe Judge leading off for the Sens. Let's see what happens. That is a 15, and that is going to be an out. That is a 19. That's going to be a fly ball hit to right field. And getting over there is going to be Elmer Smith, and he will make the catch for the first out. Next up for the Senators is the third baseman, Eddie Foster, 264 average, 26 RBIs. There were no home runs. Coveleski, 64. That is going to be an out. That's an 18, and that will be a fly ball hit to center. Getting up to that will be some bum by the name of Speaker, and he's going to make the catch for out number 2. Next up is the center fielder, Clyde Milan, a 287 average, 37 RBIs, no home runs. Coveleski, a 44. That's going to be a base hit for Milan. He will pick up a single, and he does have a chance to steal a base. I'm not going to send him, as there were 2 outs, and we're going to let the Senators come up to bat. And that next batter will be the right fielder, Sam Rice, a 321 average. He had 71 RBIs and 3 home runs. So Rice will go ahead and come up. To bat. Milan will stay at first base. And that is a 46. And that is not going to be a no-park home run. That is going to be a 12. Rice is a lefty, and that's going to be a foul ball. That's going to be a foul out. So going after that is going to go to the third baseman, and that's going to be Larry Gardner in foul territory. He's going to make the play. I'll call that a pop out to third, and the inning is over. No runs and a hit for the Senators, and we will go to the bottom of the first. Starting pitcher for the Washington Senators. Does he really need an introduction? He was known as the Big Train. Some people say the greatest pitcher in baseball history, Mr. Walter Johnson. And he was amazing in 1919. 20 wins, 14 losses, a 0.99 ERA. The Big Train is on the mound, and he is ready to steamroll through the Indians. Is he the greatest pitcher ever? I mean, I know you look at Cy Young and his 500 wins. I know you do. But Walter Johnson also pitched during the live ball era starting 1920. His ERA doubled when it went to after the dead ball era ended. But during dead ball, Walter Johnson was just a master of the mound. He was also, I heard, one of the greatest gentlemen ever to suit up. They said he was a heck of a guy off the field. And some people say he's the greatest right-hander in baseball history. He's not in my starting rotation. My all-time starting rotation, only because I go dead ball, a much different period of time. But in this game, though, is he one of the greatest of all time? That goes without saying. And if you want to say he is the greatest of all time, I guess that's fine. That's fine. Pick your poison. By the way, Cy Young did have 500 wins, yes. But Walter Johnson had a lower career ERA than Cy Young did. And then, of course, also Cy Young pitched more games. Really interesting how you could depict Walter Johnson, the Big Train. As bullpen session, and he is going to have his best stuff. So Walter Johnson's going to have an A, and which means he's going to be even tougher. Let's see what happens here. Let's go to the bottom of the first. Leading off for the Tribe will be the left fielder, Jack Graney. 234 average, 30 RBIs. He did have a home run. Pitch from the Big Train, 43, and that is going to be an easy out. That is a 9. That'll be a fly ball hit to right, and it will be Sam Rice getting to that for out number 1. And that will bring next batter will be the shortstop, Ray Chapman, a 300 average, 53 RBIs. He had 3 home runs. Johnson, 45, and that's going to be an out, and that is a 12, and that is going to be a ground ball, ground out to the third baseman, and no third baseman, third baseman, ground ball to third. That'll be picked up by Foster, and the throw goes to first for out number 2. 2 outs, and now we'll bring up this guy. Is he one of the greatest of all time? I think that goes without saying. Center fielder, Tris Speaker. Walter Johnson versus Tris Speaker. Yeah, if that is not a monster movie, I don't know what is. Tris Speaker, though, 296 average, 63 RBIs, 2 home runs in 1919. Johnson will pitch. And that's a 51, and that's going to be a KD defense. 1-4 would be a strikeout. That is not going to be a strikeout, so we will track. A possible error to the shortstop. So the shortstop is The shortstop is Howie Shanks, and his error rating, ground ball to short, possible error, and his error rating is a 16. So, which means he really wasn't that good. So with 1 to 16, he's going to make an error. That's a 4, and he does. So Tris Speaker's going to go ahead and make it to first, and that will be an E6. So first error on the Senators, as a bad play by Howie Shanks, can't make the play. And you have to roll over the error rating for not to be an error in this game, and you have to roll under the range in order for him to make the play. Kind of reverse it, but that's okay. But Tris Speaker is safe at first on an error. And now we will have the right fielder, Elmer Smith. 278 average, 54 RBIs, and 9 homers. 9 home runs is not too bad. He can hit a homer off the ballpark. Here comes the pitch. That's a 16, and that will be an out. It's the final out of the inning, so it doesn't matter where it goes. And that's going to be a ground ball hit to second base. That'll be taken by Hal Janvrin, and he's going to throw to first to get Smith, and the inning will end there. No runs, no hits. There was an error. We got no score after 1. Walter Johnson versus Tris Speaker. 2 of the greatest of all time facing off against each other. Top of the second, Coveleski back on the mound. Both pitchers can pitch to 36 batters before fatigue, so they can go through the lineup 4 times. Leading off for the Senators, left fielder Mike Minosky, 287 average, 39 RBIs. He had 6 home runs in 1919. He had some power. Anything above 5, 6, or 7 home runs in dead ball era is pretty darn good, which means you definitely have power. And Babe Ruth that year, I think he hit 20. I think he hit 29 that year. Coveleski, 53. That's going to be a KD check. The 15 will be too high. So we'll go to the card, and that is going to be a possible error on the shortstop. So the shortstop for the Indians is Rex Chapman. His error rating is an 11, and he's going to make an error as well. And that's going to be infield. That's going to be an infield sing. That'll be and it says infield. So I got to check that one real quick. Single infield, and let's see. Shortstop, single infield. And nope, that's fine. It's just going to be an infield single. So Minosky that's going to be, that's a single and an error, right? That's a single and an error, I think. Hold on. Let me check the card. Still learning. So shortstop, single, infield. So it's a he makes an error. Or is that a range? Oh, no, that's 53. That's a range. That's a range play, isn't it? That's a range. Yes, 53 is a range check. My bad. Let's do this again. Second baseman for the Indians is Wamsgans. My bad. So shortstop is Chapman. His range is an 8. That's a 4. He's actually going to make the play. Would help if I did that better. So that will be a ground out to short. Out number 1. That was a range. 51 and 52 are errors. 53 is a range. One man down, John Haverly joins us here at League Park. Next batter is the catcher. I do not know how to say this guy's name. I don't know if it's Val Picanic or Val Picanich or Pisanich. I have no idea how this guy's name is said. But if you guys want to check it out, Val Picanic. I'm going to say Picanic, but I'm not 100% sure. 274 average, 22 RBIs, 3 home runs in 1919. Coveleski will pitch. 24 hit by pitch. The 10 is too high. That will be an out. And I'll take the 10. And that is going to just be a line drive at the center field. That'll be grabbed by Speaker. LA 2 down. And now the batter is the shortstop, Howie Shanks, a 248 average, 54 RBIs. Pasanich. Thank you there, Ben. Pasanich. Boy, I was never even close. Coveleski, 36 and that is going to be an out. And that's a 15, and that will be a ground ball to first. That'll be handled by Doc Johnston, and he'll take it himself to the bag and retire the side. 1, 2, 3 go the Senators. Will go to the bottom of the second inning. The big train back on the mound. Emphasis on so Pasinich. Okay. Thank you, sir. Leading off for the Tribe will be Larry Gardner. He is at third base. 300 average, 79 RBIs, 2 home runs. Indians in 1919 were pretty decent. The big train, 55, and that's going to be a 17, and that's going to be a base hit for Gardner. He will get a single off of Johnston. That's a single plus. Question is, does he want to try to steal? SBS 7, no, he'll stay put. And now we'll bring up a second baseman, Bill Wamsgans. Now, if that's not a baseball name, I don't know what is. 278 average, 60 RBIs, 2 home runs in 1919. Bill Wamsgans. Okay. Unless it's pronounced Wamsgans, I have no idea, but that's how I'm going to pronounce it. Gardner on at first, the pitch from the train, 51, and that is going to be a KD defense check. That's an error champ. That is an 18. It's not going to be a strikeout. So a possible error on the second baseman, and that is going to Hal Janveren. His error rating is a 14. So a 14 or lower, he makes an error. He does. That's going to be an error, all right. And that's just going to be a one-base error, and the runners will advance 1 base. So that will be an error on Hal Janveren. And that is an E4. That will be the second error on the Senators. They've made 2 errors right now in this game already. So now runners at first and second, nobody out. So Johnson right now saying, hey, I'm the train. You guys are supposed to be the tracks. Get the job done. Here comes Doc Johnston. He's at first base, 305 average, 33 RBIs, and a home run. So runners at first and second for the Indians. Nobody out. Bottom of the second. 12, and that would be a single 1-2. That's a 4. That's going to be an out, and I will draw for that. It's going to be a grounder to second base, and first and second, fielder's choice at second. But unless the second baseman has a strong arm, it starts a double play. The second baseman for the Senators is Hal Janveren. He has a weak arm, so that is going to be a fielder's choice at second. So Gardner will get to third. Wamsgans is out. Johnson's at first. That's 1 out. So they do not get a double play. They only get the fielder's choice at second. So now runners at the corners with 1 out will go as a fielder's choice. And then now next batter will be Steve O'Neill. He's the catcher for the Indians. 289 average, 47 RBIs, 2 home runs. Major League Baseball 1919 field percentage was .966 by contrast. Nobody cared about fielding back in that day. Runners at first and second. Gardner's got an average speed. The Senators are going to call the infield. They're going to stay back and try to turn the 2. It's early in the game. No score, but now 1 out here with runners at the corners. The big train will pitch 24. Hit by pitch 1-8. That's a 4. Now Johnson has a hit batter rating of a 0, so there is no change to that. So he hits O'Neill, and the bases are now loaded. So Walter Johnson does hit O'Neill, first hit batter of the game. I am not going to use. I know there were a lot of hit batters back in that day. I'm not going to use the three hit batter rule in this tournament. But now bases are loaded, and that brings up the pitcher, and he can hit. Stan Coveleski had a 213 average and 6 RBIs. The Senators are going to stay at double play depth, though. So a big chance here for the Indians to try to get some runs and try to get something on Walter Johnson. So here comes the pitch. And that's a 24. That is going to be an out. Now, that is an out X. If this is a ground out, that's going to be a double play. And that's exactly what it's going to be. Batter against a righty, ground ball to shortstop, but an out X means it's a double play. So that's going to be a 6-4-3 double play, and Johnson gets out of the inning. So no runs, one hit, and one error, and Johnson gets out of it. An out X means it's a double play if it is a ground ball, and I do draw the cards if there are runners on base, and that's exactly what it was. No score after 2. Yes, Thomas Line is right. You didn't care, but the gloves were small. The fields were not well maintained, and the scoring was less forgiving. Yes, you're probably correct about that, sir. If you ever watch the movie 8 Men Out, which is my favorite baseball movie, yeah, that you can definitely see what their gloves were like back then. We go to the top of the third, and leading off for the Senators will be Hal Janvrin. Oh, he is at second base for this game. 178 average, 13 RBIs, and a bomb. Top of the third, no score. Walter Johnson got out of it. Let's see what the Senators can do here. That is a 31, and that's going to be a base hit right off of Coveleski's card. A 31 is a single, which it usually is pretty much on all the pitchers, pretty much. But that's a base hit. So the Senators start with a man on. And the batter will be the big train himself, Walter Johnson. Capable hitter, 192 average. He did have a home run that year and 8 RBIs. And I think he may be bunting to try to get Janvrin out. So he may be bunting here, I think. So they're going to try to lay down the bunt. So let's see what we got here. So they're going to try to bunt. So I'll roll the 2-6 dice. So 1 to 5, the bunt is laid down, and it is. And now the second roll, if it's another 1 to 5, it's a good sacrifice bunt. By the way, that ball was bunted to third base. That's a 2, and that's going to be a good bunt. So Janvrin will get to second base. The throw goes to first for the out on the sacrifice hit to third. So nice play by Johnson to play a little small ball here and puts a runner at scoring position. Next batter for the Senators will be Judge. So runner on at second. Coveleski will pitch. 1 out. Top of the third. No score here in this game. And that's a 23, and that will be an out with a runner on second base. And that's going to be a ground ball to second. The runner will advance to third. So Janvrin goes to third base, and that is out number 2. Grounder to second easily. So now a runner 90 feet away. The next batter is Foster. But now there are 2 outs. Coveleski will go ahead and pitch. And 46, that is a ballpark check. And that is a 4. And let's see, Foster is a righty, and a 1 to 4 is going to be a foul ball roll again. Wow, we just missed a chance to maybe get a double. So Foster is going to roll again. So that ball is in the stands at League Park, and he's going to go ahead and try again. Coveleski will pitch. It's 15, and that will be an out. That's a 6, and it will be a ground ball hit to short. Handled there by Chapman. The throw will go to first and retire the side. No runs and a hit for the Senators. We go to the bottom of the third. So far, a Hall of Fame matchup between Stan Coveleski and Walter Johnson is pretty much acting like, well, a game between 2 Hall of Famers of Coveleski and Johnson. We go to the bottom of the third inning, and leading off for the Indians will be Jack Graney. He's 0 for 1. Walter Johnson will pitch. And 23, and that will be an out, and that will be a fly ball hit the right, and that will be handled by Rice for out number 1. One down, here's Chapman. Johnson, and 53. That's a defense chart. The 8 is too high. That's going to be a range play, and the range is going to go to the center fielder. So going after that is Clyde Milan. His range is a 9. So a 1-9, he makes the play. He does. 2 outs. Nice play by Clyde Milan out there in center field. And he makes a good play there. So a nice play by Milan, 2 away. Chapman didn't think he was going to get to it. And here comes Speaker. Speaker reached on an error his first time up. Johnson, 31, and that is a 1-2 would be a 1-2 would be a single. That's a 10. That's going to be an out. I'm just going to take that number, and it's going to be a line drive hit right to left field, but that'll be caught by Minoski, and the inning will end there. 1, 2, 3, go the Indians. No score after 3. I checked with Tony Porter on some of the rules for Fall Classic Baseball, and he did give me some very good tips. Of course, Tony Porter is the Fall Classic what I am to inside pitch. He is the expert on that game. Top of the 4th, Coveleski back on the mound, and Clyde Milan leads off for the Sens, and he got a base hit his first time up. Coveleski, 41, and that is going to be a walk. He goes ahead and walks Milan, and the Senators start with a man on. The batter will be Rice. Milan will stay at first. Infield is set here for any kind of double play. So Coveleski will pitch. And that's a 45, and that will be an out. And it will be a ground ball to short, and that will be a fielder's choice at second base. That's handled there by Chapman. He'll take it to the bag himself. Milan is out, and that will be 1 away. So Sam Rice will take his position at first. Next batter is Minoski. Minoski's 0 for 1. 1 out. Rice on at first. Coveleski will pitch. 45, and that is going to be an out, and it will be a ground out to second base, and runner advances to second, so the only play they had was to first. So Sam Rice goes to second base. Minoski is out, and that will be out number 2. That looked like the only play they had. So runner advances to second base. Sometimes you do get that. And now the batter is Pasinich, and he's 0 for 1. Runner at second base, but right now, neither one of these teams want to get a run across the plate. Coveleski, 23, and that is going to be a swing and a miss. Struck him out, and that will be the inning over. That's the first strikeout by Coveleski. He had 118 of them that year, and that will do it. Nothing across except a walk. We go to the bottom of the 4th. So far, a typical dead ball era game. Not much action. But then again, you do have two of the best pitchers of all time pitching against each other, though. Elmer Smith leads off for the Indians. He's 0 for 1. Johnson, 51, and that's going to be that's going to be an error check. First, a strikeout chance. The 11 is too high. So let's see where the error check's going to, and that is a possible error on the second baseman. Possible error on the second baseman. So that is Sam Rice. His error rating is a 10. So an 11 or higher, he doesn't. So a 1 to 10, he makes an error. That's an 11. He doesn't. Nice play by Sam Rice. He's got it. Hobbled it a little bit, but threw to first to get the out. So nice play. Not Rice. I'm sorry. What did I say? Second base? Why am I thinking Sam Rice? Second base error. That's Janvrin. I don't know what I'm looking at here. His error rating actually is a 14. That actually is going to be an error. My bad. Janvrin is a second baseman. I don't know why I was looking at Sam Rice for. So Janvrin gets it. His error rating is a 14. So that is an error, and it's a one-base error. So Smith is going to be at first. My bad. My apologies, guys. I'm still learning this thing. So that's going to be another. That's going to be an E4, and that is the third error on the Senators. They've made 3 errors in this game so far. Once again, Walter Johnson says, you know, guys, when this game is over, win or lose, we're doing defensive drills. And then, of course, the manager for the Senators that year was Clark Griffith, and I believe he's going to agree with Walter Johnson on that one. Smith on it first. Here's Gardner. Gardner got a single his first time up. 43, and that is going to be an out. And that's going to be a line out, and that is a 3. That's going to be a line out right to first for out number 1. Smith will get back. So a line drive to first, but Smith gets back 1 down as I use the white die to the side. Here's Wamsgans. Wamsgans reached on an error his first time up. Pitch coming, 35, and that is going to be an out. And that's going to be a line out to right field. Now, it says if white die is 1, the right fielder makes a sliding catch. And if there is a runner on first, he gets caught. Well, the white die is a 5. So Smith is going to get back to first for out number 2. That's a line out to right. And Wamsgans is gone there, or a fly out to right. And now Johnston. Johnston is 0 for 1. Big pitchers duel here between Walter Johnson and Stan Coveleski. Did you expect anything else? The big train, 35. That will be an out. It's the final out of the inning. That's a 17. That's going to be a fly ball hit to left field. That'll be caught by Minoski, and that will end the inning. No runs, no hits. There was an error, and no score after 4. As right now, both these pitchers are showing why they are Hall of Famers. Top of the 5th, and leading off for the Senators will be Howie Shanks, and he is 0 for 1. Coveleski, take the pitch, 56, and that is going to be a swing and a miss. Struck him out. Actually, it's a called strikeout, really. That's going to be a called strike 3 on Shanks. I'll give him a called strikeout on that and 1 down. Personally, I think if the strikeout comes off the pitcher card, that's probably a called strike 3. If it's on the batter card, I'll call it a swing and a miss. Next batter is Janvrin. Janvrin's 1 for 1. 34, and that will be a base hit. That is a single off of Coveleski's card. And that will be a single. So a base hit for Janvrin. And now here's Johnson. Johnson looking to bunt. I think I think you let him bunt here. He does have abilities to swing, but he's going to try to bunt Janvrin over to second. So let's see how the bunt goes. The blue die is first, and that is a 5. It's a good bunt. That is also, then the second roll is a 5, and that is bunted right to third base. That'll be that will be an easy pickup. Third baseman, though, is Gardner, has an average arm, so it's not going to matter with the throw's going to go to first anyway, and Janvrin will go to second, and that will be out number 2, but the bunt worked good. So nice bunt by Johnson to move him over. The third, that's the second time he sacrificed hit. Now the question is, can the Senators get a run? Here's Judge. This is Joe Judge, not Aaron Judge, who just won another MVP, by the way. Judge is 0 for 2. Janvrin on it, second. Coveleski will pitch. 41, and that's going to be a base on balls. He will walk Judge. And now we got runners at first and second. That is the second walk given up by Coveleski, and will now bring up Foster. Foster is 0 for 2. Fans here at League Park hoping maybe Coveleski can get out of this jam. Senators and the Indians, Game 3 of this 1919 one and gone. The pitch, 46, and that's not a park home run. Let's see, that is a 10. And against a righty, that is going to be a right-handed batter. That's going to be a foul ball, but it's going to stay in the park. Going over there will be Johnston. That's going to be a foul out to first, and the inning will end. No runs, a hit, and a walk. So right now, nobody getting anything in a ball game like this. But as I said, I wasn't expecting much of anything else with pitchers such as Walter Johnson and Stan Coveleski on the mound. Not surprised at all. Bottom of the fifth, here comes Steve O'Neill, and he got hit by a pitch his first time up. The big train, 62, and that is going to be called strike 3, and that is out number 1. And that is only the first strikeout for Walter Johnson. He only had, 147 of them in 1919. This was the last year of dead ball. Next year, Walter Johnson's ERA doubles. Here's Coveleski. Coveleski is 0 for 1. The big train, 14, and that's a swing and a miss, struck him out. And that'll be the second strikeout now for the train, for the big train. And now here's Graney. Graney is 0 for 2. Johnson, 52, that is a 14. It will not be a strikeout. So that is going to be an error chance, KD chart. And it's a possible error on the third baseman. Third baseman for the Senators is Eddie Foster. His error rating is an 8. So a 1 to 8, he makes an error. He doesn't. Nice play by Eddie Foster. That would have been the 4th error of the game for the Senators. But Foster will go ahead and get that. He will throw to first to get Graney. And that will retire the side. 1, 2, 3. Go the Tribe. No score after 5. Walter Johnson working on a 1-hitter. And we'll go to the bottom of the 5th. I'm sorry, top of the 6th. Hope you guys are enjoying some fall classic baseball. Like I said, I thought the first time I played the game, I thought it was missing something. And I still think it's missing something, but I like the game a lot more than I did before. This may become my second choice now for play, after inside pitch. Top of the 6th inning, no score here. And let's see, Clyde Milan leads off for the Senators, and he's gone on base twice. He's 1 for 1, a single and a walk. Coveleski will pitch. 14, and that's going to be an out, and that will be a ground ball right back to Coveleski, and he will take that and toss it over for the out. Next up is Rice. Rice is 0 for 2. Pitch, 44, base hit. Rice will go ahead and get a single, and he's at first. And he is definitely a stolen base chance. Stolen base rating is a 14. Coveleski, let's see, his arm rating is strong though. So let's see if he's going to get the jump. So let's see. So base stealing jump, his a 14, and no jump versus a righty with a strong arm, a 1 to 3. So a 1 to 3, Rice does not get the jump. It's a 1, and that's a possible pickoff. That's a possible pickoff there. And let's see here. Let's see a possible pickoff. Coveleski throws. That's a 4, and that is a strong arm, a 1 to 8. He is out, and he is. Wow, Coveleski picks off Sam Rice. 2 down. Rice thinking of maybe taking second base, but Coveleski says, I'm a Hall of Famer, and you're not. And you're going out, 2 away. So now here's Minoski. Minoski's 0 for 2. Coveleski will pitch. 62, and that's going to be a called strike 3 on Minoski, and the inning will end. And that is the 3rd K for Coveleski. No runs and a hit, but Coveleski makes a great pickoff at first. We go to the bottom of the sixth, still no score. Ray Chapman leads off for the Indians. He is 0 for 2. Johnson has great stuff. Coveleski, average stuff, but he was able to make the play on that. Johnson will pitch from the big train. 65. And that a home run 1-5. The 15 is going to be too high anyway. A 1-5. And Chapman has a -6 when it comes to that. So that's not going to be a home run. That is just going to be an out. And that's going to be I'm going to call that a fly ball. I'm going to call that a deep fly, not a home run. I'm going to call that a fly out to, I'll call that a fly out to center field, and that's out number 1. A 65 is a home run on the card, but then you look at Johnson, and it's -6. So Johnson's home run rating with great stuff is 1-5. Then you subtract -6. That becomes a negative. You cannot hit a home run negative. So 1 down. Here comes Speaker. Johnson, 34, and that is going to be an out, and that is going to be a pop fly ball. Going to that will be the second baseman, Janvrin, and it'll be a pop out to second for out number 2. Give you an example of how the D20 works with the charts. This is a Fall Classic Baseball out chart. This is with the base is empty. This is a 2, as you can see on the die. So I just read on the chart, and it says pop out, and I just follow the lines here. It's just it just makes it, I mean, I don't have to go through the fast action cards, as much for every out. You can if you want, but I'd rather just use them if I need to draw. And the game will go by maybe a little faster. Here's Smith. Smith is 0 for 2, but he reached on an error. Johnson, 51. That's a possible strikeout, but the 19 is too high. So that is going to be an error chance, and that is a possible error on the shortstop. And the shortstop is Howie Shanks. His error rating is a 16, and he's going to make an error, and Smith's going to be safe. So Howie Shanks makes another error. That is an E6. That is the 4th error on the Senators. 4 errors in the game, and yet it's still scoreless. You can thank some guy by the name of Walter Johnson for that. So here's Gardner. So Gardner now the batter, 1 for 2. Both teams trying to figure out each pitcher. Johnson with the pitch. 55, and that's a 13, and finally the Indians are going to get through, and that is going to be a 13, and 8 to 16 is a triple. That's a 13, and the Indians are on the board. Stadium cheers. Yay! And finally the errors come to bite the Senators in the butt. 1-0 Tribe. A triple by Larry Gardner goes ahead and brings in a run. That error finally beats the Senators, and now it's 1-0 Indians. That could be enough. Still 2 outs. Here's Wamsgans, and Walter Johnson goes over to Howie Shanks and says, "You and I are going to have a talk when this game is over." So 2 men out, but now another run at third base. 1-0 Indians as someone finally gets on the board. Pitch from the big train. 25, and that will be an out. That will be the final out of the inning. It'll be a ground ball hit to third. That'll be handled there by Foster. He'll throw to first for the out, and the inning is over. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error. The Senators have made 4 errors in the game, and they're just not cutting it there. 1-0 now after 6. In 1919, Johnson gave up 73 runs. Only 48 of them were earned. That just shows you how good a pitcher he was. Like I said, is he the greatest of all time? You can make an argument, but remember, only two pitchers. The one thing about Walter Johnson, remember, only two pitchers in baseball history have over 300 wins, 3,000 strikeouts, and a career ERA under 3. Walter Johnson and the other guy, Tom Seaver. So if you're Tom Seaver and you're mentioning the same sentence as Walter Johnson, you know you were pretty good. Top of the 7th here, and Val Pisanich will go ahead and lead off. He's 0 for 2. Top of the 7th, 1-0 Indians. Another great pitchers duel by two Hall of Famers. The pitch, 52. That is a 19. It will not be a strikeout. So it will be an error chance. And that is a possible error on the second baseman, a possible 2-base error. The second baseman is Wamsgans. His error rating is a 9. A 1 to 9, it's an error. Nope, Wamsgans got it. He says, let me show you how we play defense over here in Cleveland. Throws to first, out number 1. Great play by Wamsgans. He avoids an error. And out number 1. Ben Wood says you were decent. Yeah, you were pretty decent. You were above average. Let's say you were above average. That's good. Next batter is Shanks, and he's getting some sarcastic remarks from the League Park crowd. Coveleski will go ahead and pitch. 36, and that will be an out, and it will be a pop fly ball to the shortstop. Chapman will get that, out number 2. And now Janvrin. Janvrin's the only guy that's figured out Coveleski. He's got 2 singles. Coveleski, 23, and that will be an out. And that's a 14. Grounder to second base. Handled by Wamsgans, throws to first. And another 1-2-3 inning for Stan Coveleski. We are at the 7th inning stretch. Sing, take me out to the ball game. I'll be right back. Even though they didn't do it then. Our next game on this one and gone, game number 4, I will be playing it on Sunday night. Saturday night, I'm going to go see the Florida Panthers play some hockey down here. So, Stanley Cup, my apologies, Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. Let's get it right. So I'm going to see them play some hockey Saturday night. So I will return Sunday night with game number 4, and it is going to be the number 12 Boston Braves, and they will take on the number 5 New York Yankees. Sometimes it was known as Brush Stadium, but we all know it better as the Polo Grounds. Both the Yankees and the Giants played at the Polo Grounds in 1919. So we're going to the historic Polo Grounds for a game between the Boston Braves and the New York Yankees. It will be Dick Rudolph pitching for the Braves, and Bob Sharkey will be going for the Yankees. That's another great baseball name if you don't know, Bob Sharkey. So you'll join me there for Sunday night, game number 4 of the first round of this one and gone tournament. The Boston Braves and the New York Yankees from the Polo Grounds. Dick Rudolph against Bob Sharkey. That'll be the next game here on the network. Bottom of the 7th here, Indians lead 1-0. Walter Johnson says, I'm still pitching. I don't care what you say. They go the coach, the manager tries to go take Walter Johnson out of the game, and Walter says, what year are you from? I pitched to so many batters. And they says, well, in the year 2019, pitchers only pitched to like 5 or 6 batters, and I yank them. Walter Johnson says, go sit back in the manager, go sit back down in the dugout and let me pitch. Ridiculous. Bottom of the 7th, and it will be Doc Johnston leading off for the Indians. He's 0 for 2. The big train. That's a 22. That's going to be a base hit. Johnston will get a single. That's a possible steal, too. So a single for Johnston. He's pretty good. He's got an SBS of 12. Let's see if he gets the jump. Let's see if he gets the jump. Johnson, a righty. He has a weak arm, though. So only a 1. He does not get the jump. He does get the jump. Johnston is a SBS of 12. And Pisanich has a average arm, and he's going to try to steal. So Johnston on his way to second base. So 1 to 12, he is safe. He is. Doc Johnston will steal second base, and that is a big run there for the Indians. David Vega joins us here at League Park. So Doc Johnston steals second base off of Walter Johnson. And now the batter will be O'Neill. O'Neill is 0 for 1, struck out but got hit by a pitch. This is 1919. I'm not using the hit by pitch rule where you have 3 batters and you get yanked out. I'm not doing that. Normal inside pitch, yes, but this kind of game, no. Johnston will go stay at second base. Walter Johnson will pitch. Pitch from the train. 32. That's an out. And with a runner on second, and that is a ground ball hit to short, and the runner's going to hold at second, so Johnston has looked back at second base, and the throw goes to first to get O'Neill, and that will be out number 1. That'll bring up Coveleski, and he will bat. This is 1919, not 2019. The pitch from the big train. 44, base hit, Stan Coveleski. That's going to be a single for him. Let's see what it is. And that is a base hit to left field. Johnston has an average run rating. Second home, FNA, he will score. 2-0 Indians. Stadium cheers. Yay! RBI single by Stan Coveleski. He was a decent hitter. And it's 2-0 Indians. Stan Coveleski says, DH? I don't need no stinking DH. Walter Johnson hangs his head on that one. That was just a nice base hit by Coveleski. And now it's 2-0 Indians. With a runner on first, the batter now is Graney. Coveleski, not a threat to steal. He's not going anywhere. Johnson will go ahead and pitch. 41, and that's going to be an out. That's going to be an out. If it was a B or a C, it would be a walk, but that's going to be an out under an A. And that is a ground ball to short. Baltimore chop, runner advances to second. So Coveleski will get to second base. The throw will go to first for out number 2. So 2 men away. And now here's Chapman. Chapman is 0 for 3. 2-0 Tribe. That is a huge win. That is a huge run. Cutter Historical joins us here at League Park. Walter Johnson is the epiphany of a hard luck pitcher. Imagine how many more wins he could have had with very decent Washington teams. That is so true. His only championship was in 1924. That was a heck of a season, too. Johnson will pitch, and that's a 31, and a 31 on his card. A 1 to 2 is a single. That's a 14. That is going to be an out. I'll just take the 14. It'll be a grounder to second base. Picked up there by Janvrin. He'll throw to first, and the inning will end. 1 run, 2 hits for the Indians. Now a 2-0 lead after 7. I don't know, Cutter. Do you think Walter Johnson is the greatest of all time? I'm not talking about, like Cy Young, I know, had over 500 wins, but Walter Johnson, is he the greatest? Is he the greatest right-hander ever? I don't know. You can make an argument for it. You could make an argument. Top of the eighth, Coveleski now has 2 runs to work with, and those 4 errors are really hurting. The leadoff batter is Walter Johnson. He's the leadoff batter here. A regular season game, I would let Walter Johnson bat. I don't know. Do you let Walter Johnson bat here? Do you go to the bench? I understand this is 1919, but this is a 1-game tournament. It's a 1-game tournament. This was regular season. I'd probably let Walter Johnson bat here. But but you got to go to pens. 2 runs, as tough as it is. I agree with Ben Witz. That will be it for Walter Johnson. The big train is chased out. They will bring on a lefty to go up against Coveleski, and it is going to be Buzz Murphy. 262 average, 28 RBIs, no homers. So the Senators are going to go to the bullpen. Buzz Murphy. And there's another good baseball name for you. Buzz. Anybody name their kid Buzz anymore? Buzz Murphy will go ahead and bat against Coveleski. 2-0 Indians, top of the 8th. That's a 14, and that is going to be an out, and that will be a ground ball hit to first. Taken there by Johnston. It'll be unassisted, and that's out number 1. 1 down. Here comes the judge, Joe Judge, and he's 0 for 2 with a walk. Coveleski, 15, and that's going to be an out. That's a 10, and that is going to be a line drive hit right to right field, and Smith's not going to move after anywhere. That'll be out number 2. That'll be a line out to right. 2 outs now for Foster. Foster is 0 for 3. Coveleski, he will pitch. And 43, and that will be an out. That is a 14, and will be a grounder to second. Handled easily there by Wamsgans, and he'll throw to first and retire the side. 1, 2, 3, go the Senators, and the Washington Senators are running out of outs. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Speaker, Smith, and Gardner, they're all lefties. So the Senators are going to go with, I don't know if do I have a left-handed pitcher? I do for the Senators, and it is going to be, coming on to pitch for the Senators is going to be Harry Thompson. No wins, 3 losses, a save at a 1.30 whip. So Harry Thompson will come on to pitch, and he will have he'll have a normal bullpen session. It'll be a B, and we'll see what he does. So here comes Harry Thompson to pitch for the Sens, as Walter Johnson is going to leave with the L, unless maybe the Senators can do something here. Leading off for the Indians will be Mr. Tris Speaker. Yes, one of the greatest of all time. Speaker, however, is 0 for 3, but he reached on an error. Thompson, 41, and that is going to be a walk. The first thing he does is walk Speaker. Wow. Whether I play inside pitch or fall classic, it doesn't matter. When I bring in a relief pitcher, the first thing he does is walk the leadoff batter. At least I know it's not just inside pitch. It's fall classic also. Here comes Smith. Smith is 0 for 3, but he's reached on an error twice. Speaker on it first. Thompson, that's a 23, and that's going to be an out. And it will be a ground ball to second, and the runner advances to second, so Speaker will have good speed. He'll get to second base. The throw will go to first for the out. 1 man down, but Speaker gets to second. That's a big run at second base. And now the batter is Gardner. Gardner is 2 for 3, a single and a big time and an RBI triple. So runner on at second as Harry Thompson trying to keep things going. One out here, bottom of the 8th. Thompson, 34, and that is going to be a base hit, right? That's going to be a single, and that will be a base hit to right field. Second to home, Trish Speaker has a fast runner. Fast will advance. He will score. So Larry Gardner will get to first base. Trish Speaker comes around all the way from second. He will score. It's 3-0 Indians. Stadium cheers. Yay! What a day for Larry Gardner. He's 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Larry Gardner, and he did bat 300 that year. What a job for him. So it's now 3-0 Indians. That's probably the dagger. And the next batter is Smith. Smith is 0 for 3, but he reached on an error. Still one out, bottom of the 8th inning, 3-0 in favor of the Tribe. 22, and that's a 9. That will be a walk. So he will walk Smith. And now runners at first and second. And now Walter Johnson, the dugout, saying, "Why did you take me out?" And now the batter is Wamsgans. Wamsgans is 1 for 3, had a single, a stolen base his last time up. Still only one out in the bottom of the 8th, but the Indians looking to get some more. Gardner on at second, Smith on at first. Thompson will deal. That's a 36, and that will be an out with runners at first and second. Let's see. Ground ball to short, and that is a fielder's choice at second, but a strong shortstop will turn a double play. That is Shanks. It's a weak arm, so that's going to be a fielder's choice at second. So Gardner goes to third. Smith is out, 2 away, but that does allow the Indians to get another batter up there. So fielder's choice, 2 outs. And now here's O'Neill. O'Neill is 0 for 2, and he got hit by a pitch. Jim Connell joins us here at League Park. Gardner on at third. Wamsgans on at first. Indians have a 3-0 lead. Stan Coveleski has definitely outdueled Walter Johnson, but 4 Senator errors did not help. Thompson will pitch. 23, and that will be an out. And that is an 8, and that's going to be a fly ball to center field. That'll be handled by Clyde Milan, and that will end the inning. 1 run, 1 hit, a couple of walks, and the Indians have a 3-0 lead here after 8. But will we see some 9th inning magic? Top of the 9th. Coveleski coming out to pitch. He's going to do just that. He is not tired by any means. He can face 36 batters, and he's only faced 29. So Stan Coveleski is going to go the distance like they mostly did, even in losses during the regular season. It will be Clyde Milan leading off for Washington, and he is 1 for 2, a single and a walk. So Coveleski will go ahead and pitch and try to send the Indians into the second round. Coveleski, 22. Nope, it's a leadoff base hit for Milan. Milan gets a single. He'll hold it first. He does have a chance to steal. He's going to stay put. They're not going to send him. The batter will be Rice. Rice is 1 for 3. Milan does have a steal attempt, but he is not going anywhere. You're down by 3 runs. You need base runners. Coveleski will go ahead and pitch. 14, and that is an out. And if this is a ground ball, it's a double play, and that's exactly what it is. Ground ball to short, but Sam Rice has an out X, which means if it's a grounder, it's an automatic double play. And so that's a 6-4-3 double play, 2 outs. Usually, I think they put the X on there for batters that hit into a lot of double plays, I guess. So 2 down, and the last chance for the Senators is Mike Minosky, and he's 0 for 3. 2 away. Fans here at League Park are on their feet. If the Indians win this game, they will host the next one. Both the Yankees and the Braves are higher seed. They are lower seeds. They are 5 and 12. So if the Indians win this one, they will host their second game. They will host the second game in their set. Coveleski will pitch to Minosky. The fans here at League Park are waving their towels and flashing their cell phones. Oh, this is 1919, not 2019. Coveleski will pitch. 44. It continues. It's a base hit. Wow, how big was that double play? That's a single from Minosky. Keeps it going. Single for him. How big was that double play now? That probably could have brought in at least a run. Or possibly. So now Minosky on it first. Now the batter will be Pisanich. He is 0 for 3. Still 2 outs. Minosky on it first. Coveleski looking in to put the game out of reach. Once again, the fans here at League Park are loud. They're already buying tickets on their Ticketmaster to go. Oh, that's right, 1919. Coveleski will pitch. 45, and that will do it. That's going to be an out, and that will be a fly ball to left field. And going after that is Jack Graney. He's got plenty of room. He comes in a little bit, puts out his glove, blop, and the ball falls into it. That's your game. The Cleveland Indians shut out the Senators today, 3-0. Stadium cheers. Yay! No runs, 2 hits. And that is all. As Stan Coveleski outduels Walter Johnson. But the errors really what killed him. The Indians will move on to the next round, and the Washington Senators are 1 and gone. Final line score coming up. For the Indians, 3 runs on 5 hits and no errors. For the Senators, no runs, 6 hits, and 4 horrible errors. The winning pitcher is Stan Coveleski. He'll go the distance and get the win. Walter Johnson takes a very tough loss. And, of course, no save. 3-man rotation, Jim Connell. For 1919, it would be a 3-man rotation, which means whichever teams face off in the championship game will be their number 1 pitchers for that game. For 1919, I'll go with 3-man rotation. It makes sense for that because pitchers usually did a 3-man rotation. So that is your game tonight as the Cleveland Indians knock off the Washington Senators 3-0. They will move on to face the winner of our next game, and that will be Sunday night from the Polo Grounds. The Boston Braves, the number 12 seed, taking on the number 5, the New York Yankees. It will be Dick Rudolph going for the Braves and Bob Sharkey going for the Yankees. That should be a pretty interesting matchup. 2 very good pitchers going at each other in game 1, or game 1 of one game in that series. So that will be Sunday night. The Boston Braves and the Yankees. Be there or be square. Thank you all for joining me tonight. Please leave a like on your way out to the turnstiles. Subscribe if you've not done so, and make sure you hit the bell. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay smart, stay strong. We'll see you guys Sunday night. The Cleveland Indians derail the big train, although really it was his own team derailing the big train as Walter Johnson takes the loss. The Indians knock off the Senators 3-0, and we will see you guys Sunday night. Take care.